everybody, it's Brittany and Veronica, and we're back for another Rosie Riveter's Snack Time Science. This week we're going to go into space, and more in particular we're going to explore the moon. So today we're going to explore, hold on, we've got another announcement.
This is a reminder.
Alexa, stop. The bell schedule's back on. So today we're going to explore the surface of the moon, and then later on in the week we're going to explore the phases of the moon, and we're going to read a really great book on Wednesday, Margaret and the Moon, about a woman who helped get the first astronauts to the moon and around the moon.
Her name is Margaret.
Yeah, so we'll explore that later on in the week. But today we're going to talk about the surface of the moon. Okay, so if you've ever seen the surface of the moon, it's covered in these holes, right? It's all gray and dark, and there's all kinds of bumps and ridges and valleys, and it's kind of all messy, right? And those bumps and ridges on the moon are actually called...
So people, it's a fact about those ridges. So people call those, there's 3 holes, and they call them the man on the moon, and these things, they're called shooting stars, but they're like comets and asteroids.
Yeah.
And they hit the moon and they make all of these holes.
Okay, so let's dive further into that, okay? Those holes, okay, or those valleys and ridges are actually called craters.
Oh, I knew that.
Okay, and those craters are made by 2 different things, okay? They can be made by volcanic activity, right? So things coming up from the surface and creating holes, or they can be created by impact activity. Okay, and those impacts are from things flying in and hitting the moon. But why do we care about holes on the moon? You have any idea? We're going to explore it, okay? So the reason why it matters to take a look at the things that have hit the moon is it can actually tell us a bit about how old the moon is, right?
Oh.
So, and it tells us a bit about the surface of the moon. So only solid planets, right, things that can take an impact and have a reaction, have craters on them, right? So we know that the moon is solid by seeing the fact that its surface is all pocked in different changes and all kinds of different things, right? And we can also look at the geological makeup of the number of impacts on the moon to know how old the moon actually is, right? So planetary surfaces, moons or planets that have lots and lots of holes on them, are usually older than ones that have less, particularly ones with big deep holes, because when the universe was kind of first formed, there was lots and lots of stuff out in space that was hitting planets. And depending on how many there are, how deep they are, we can figure out how old the moon is, right? So for instance, the moon's older than Earth, right? 80% of the Earth is over 200 million years old, okay? Whereas 99% of the moon is 3 billion years old. And we're able to figure that out by looking at the surface of the moon and the impact of the stuff that's on it. Okay, so we can do this by simulating, yes, Veronica?
I have a really cool fact. That's not just the only moon. Like, Mars has its own moon, and Saturn and Jupiter.
Yeah, so there's lots of different moons. So we're going to focus in on the Earth's moon today, but a lot of this crater science has to do with a lot of other planetary structures that are out and about. Okay, so today, at home, if you do this, I recommend using an aluminum or a plastic jar. The only reason why we are using a Pyrex dish is so that you can see the layers that we're working with at home. Do not use glass at home, okay? We are going to wear protective equipment, known as our sunglasses, while we do this project, but this is just so that you can see it. But at home, please use plastic or aluminum. And we're going to put in 3 different layers to represent the crust of the moon, okay, or the outer surface. So first, we're going to do a subsurface material, which is, we don't need this just yet, which is going to be represented by our flour, okay? So this is our subsurface material of the moon, right? And then, just like the rocks that we have all across the Earth and across the, basically anywhere in the universe, there's minerals, right? And those minerals tell us a story about the makeup of the surface or the atmosphere or the things that are going on. So we put those minerals on top of our subsurface material, right? We're gonna lay it out nicely. And then on the top of the moon, there's regolith, or basically known as lunar soil, so kind of like our dirt, all right? And then we layer that on top as well. Yeah, this is our soil. It's not dirt, but it's soil. So kind of like the dirt that we have, right? Okay, so crust of our moon. Again, if you're doing this at home, use plastic or aluminum. Do not use glass. We're gonna put on our glasses on for the next part of this project to maintain safety. You're gonna see a ring in our glasses. That's because we have a light on our camera. So there you go. There's our cool ring lights. And basically, we can tell a lot about the things that impacted the moon by looking at what is made on the surface. Okay, so we have different size rocks here, right? And these are actual rocks, but I covered them in tinfoil because if you noticed, I used flour, chocolate flakes, and cocoa, so we're actually gonna make brownies afterwards so we can conserve our ingredients, right? And the way that we can tell a lot about a crater has to do with the size of the hole, the impact that's gonna be made, the rays that come out of it, so the pattern and how far they go and how much mineral is distributed or how deep it's gone to kind of come out. And then additionally, the direction of the rays tell us the direction of the impact, right? So let's take a look. Veronica, can you take one of these rocks? Yeah, can you take one of these rocks and drop it from a surface into our stuff? Okay, so we're gonna take out our first rock. It made a little hole and some few bits of rays from the powder. Okay, can you see that? Right? So what we can tell from that was that it was a large rock, right? Because the hole was big, but it didn't hit very fast because it didn't actually pull up any of the subsurface material, and the rays don't go that far. Now, if I take this tiny rock, right? Take a look, it's my tiny, tiny rock, and I throw it in at an angle. Veronica, put your face up so it's not in the way. Ready? And I throw it in at an angle, and I pick it out gently, right? This one brought up far more of the subsurface material, and the rays went all the way out here, okay? So this way I knew, but the hole was quite small, that my object was smaller, but it came in at a faster velocity, right? So it tells us all kinds of clues. Our observation gives us information about what happens out there. All right, Veronica, drop this one from a really high surface. Try and get it in. All right, this one came in. A bit of a deeper hole, but again, we still haven't gotten to that subsurface material. Let's try one more. All right, take a look at that one. This one went all the way to the bottom of the glass, right? And our rays are coming out. So it tells us a lot about what's going on, right? So basically the impactor strikes, it sends a shock wave out from that impact, and it makes rays go all across the surface of the moon. And those impacts tell us a number of different things, right? It tells us about how big the impacts were on the surface of the moon. It tells us how old the moon's surface is. It helps us figure out the makeup of that. Before we actually had people land on the moon, we only guessed that this was what was happening. It took us taking back materials, moon rocks, and analyzing them, that we were able to figure out that geological makeup and that was actually what was happening. And the really cool thing is it also tells us when we look out on telescopes a bit about the atmosphere, right? Because the Earth was impacted by a lot of different comets and asteroids and things, but we have a lot of water on our surface, and we have a lot of atmosphere. I'm gonna take my glasses off now because we're done impacting.
I think I look pretty cool in that.
Cool. So the water, right, creates erosion, right, and wind moves things around. So our surfaces aren't nearly, our craters aren't nearly as visible. Go online and have a search for the existing craters that we know about and that are still there. A lot more arid climates get to keep those craters similar to the surface of the moon. Whereas the moon doesn't have an atmosphere and there's not water on it anymore, right? So those craters and those impacts stay. So it tells us a bit about the age, it tells us about the surface, and it helps us further dive into things on the Earth that we're exploring and understanding. So lunar geologists, should also look up what that is, get to study that surface, and it tells us all about different planets throughout space because we can take the information we observe from the moon and use it to extrapolate different things. So that was our introduction to moon surface science for your snack time science today. Again, you need a subsurface material, you need a mineral material, you can use sprinkles. If you're not going to eat it again, you could use glitter, right? And then you need regolith, okay, so the lunar soil. We used cocoa, but again, something that's slightly softer. You're going to layer those materials, and then you're going to find impactors. We used rocks. We covered them in tinfoil, so we don't have rocks in our brownie mix later on. And then you're going to drop them from different heights, okay? Make some predictions, make some hypotheses, things that we've talked about in weeks past. Record your data, right? And then see if you can determine what kind of craters are going to be made based on how fast, how high, and what direction you're hitting that surface with. Come back and join us on Wednesday when we learn about really cool people who helped us get to the moon, the female scientist, and where Katie's going to read that to you. And then come back on Friday where we're going to explore the phases of the moon. So how the moon orbits the Earth, how the reflection of the sun and happens with that. Yeah, and so we're going to learn all about that and do a really fun project that might involve Oreos. We're going to make a model. Yes.
I know a cool fact. So the moon actually doesn't shine. It's the sun reflecting off the moon, which bounces onto the Earth.
Okay.
And in one side of the Earth is the moon reflecting, is the sun bouncing off to the moon, which bounces off to the Earth, which is daytime. But the other side of it is the nighttime.
Okay, cool. So we're going to dive back into that later on in the week. Go into the internet, look for more information on craters, look at the craters that are on Earth, look at the craters that are on the moon, and we will see you back later on in the week, and we hope you have lots of fun. And if you do make brownies after you've done your moon experiment, share those with us too, because we hope they're yummy and we're always looking for new recipes. Okay, so should we say what we usually say?
We can do it!
We can do it! See you guys later. Bye!
Bye!